Hey, thanks a lot for joining me in this quick video. I just wanted to share a couple of little updates with you for two projects that are coming up on the channel, and I can also use some of your recommendations to complete them. So one of the things that I've always wanted to do, as you guys know, I'm a Tele guy. I enjoy my road worn, but I've always liked the look of like that 60s double bound Tele custom kind of thing, and I've always wanted to put one together. So this whole thing started out as a project to do a parts caster, if you will, a Tele style build, double bound, rosewood fingerboard, and just make it nice as I could. That was kind of the idea. So it's one of those things where it starts out one idea, and then of course it multiplies a little bit. So it went from just doing the Tele custom to now also doing a Strat style build as well. And I'll tell you how that came about in just a second. But what I wanted to do in this video was just show you a quick view of some of the parts that I picked out, some that I already have, and then get your recommendations for the parts that I need to finish these up. So first things first, in my opinion, necks are super important on any guitar. And I figured, look, if I'm going to build these, I want to give some attention to the necks. So I was going back and forth. Do I get a Fender neck from a place like Stratosphere or some of the other options to get one like that, or do I go the warmoth route? So all in all, I went with warmoth for both of the necks that I'm going to show you. First, let me show you the Tele style. This is going to be my first time doing anything with warmoth's products, but just after I first look at these, taking them out of the box, I'm liking it. So I'm really hoping that these come out nice and assemble really well. I have the spec sheet in front of me just in case you wonder what I'm looking at. Both of these necks were showcase necks, so I didn't customize them straight from the beginning. So I looked at everything that was rosewood board and picked the ones that I liked, and then there were like little options that you could select to be set up on the neck before it gets shipped out to you. So again, wood selection here, rosewood for the fingerboard. This was the Indian Rosewood Dark selection that they have on the site, and the neck wood itself, quarter sawn maple. And the shape on these, standard thin is the shape that they call it, and they consider it something similar to what Fender would put out nowadays. Starting from the headstock, tuner reams are vintage spec 11/32 is what they measure them as. Nut width 1 11/16 with tusk nut. And one thing I will say on both of these, when they say 1 11/16, both of these are right on the money, so that's a good sign. Radius on the fingerboard for the Tele neck is a compound radius. This is 10 to 16, so that's going to be interesting to set up and play. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Fret selection, I went with 6150s in stainless. So this is going to be my first, both of these will be my first guitars with stainless steel frets, and I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. That'll be a nice little change. I've checked the warmoth comparison between regular frets, nickel frets, and the stainless, and like everybody says, maybe there's this like increase in treble or the high end, and maybe you can hear a little bit of that in the shootout. I haven't looked at everybody's comparisons, but they did a nice one. But in my opinion, a little more treble is not a bad thing. But even if it was a bad thing, I'm pretty sure I could live with that if I get the performance out of the frets when it comes to the feel and the longevity. So if both of those things are there, then a tiny difference in the tone is not going to be a big deal to me. But like I said, this is going to be my first time having a build with stainless, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on this Tele neck that we need to talk about. Cream dot markers and white side dots. The neck heel has all of warmoth's labeling and documentation on there. I mean, it's just like, it looks clean. 22 frets too, I didn't mention that. Both of these necks are 22 fret necks. The truss rod access is interesting on both of these. Truss rod access is at the heel, but I didn't realize that they also have like this side adjustment on the neck, which apparently once you set it up correctly, it makes it a little bit easier to make minor adjustments to it without pulling the neck out and adjusting it from the bottom. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I've never used that before. Let's talk briefly here about this Strat neck. A lot of similarities to the Tele. I kind of wanted them to be a little bit consistent. So same nut width, tusk nut, same tuner hole size, stainless frets, 6150s, dots. Let me think about the differences here. We went with the rosewood board again. I don't think it's as dark, and I don't think they market it as the Indian rosewood dark. This is just Indian rosewood. But I went with the roasted maple for the neck, and I've always wanted to do something with roasted maple just to see what it would be like, and I think it's going to look good with the body that I have picked out. But that's basically okay. The other difference on here, fingerboard radius, this is not a compound radius, this is straight 9.5 all the way across. But I think that's about the only difference between the Strat and the Tele. But again, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how both of these turn out. So yeah, let me show you the bodies on these, and then we'll talk hardware and some of your recommendations before we finish up. I got both of these bodies from Alan Eden Guitars. I've been looking at their stuff for a couple of years, and I feel like, especially over the last year or so, I feel like their wood selection has improved. They're not expensive bodies, and that's kind of what I was going for. I only have so much to put in these guitars, so I figured let me put a little bit more into the necks, and I could probably go a little bit more affordable on the bodies. So that's kind of what I went with, and that was my intention going into it. So the Tele style, double bound, as we had to do. Sunburst, three-tone sunburst. This is their Alan Eden Premier Series Alder. HS setup, string through. The only thing I so far already know, there's going to be just a little bit of adjustment to make in the neck pocket just to get that neck to fit. But that's everything there. 5 pounds, 1.7 ounces on the Tele body. Now, both of these I found on sale from Alan Eden a couple months ago. And again, like I said, I started with the Tele, but then this one popped up and they put these up for sale, and I said, you know what, let me give it a try, the Relic series. So this is their Relic series Alder S style, HSH routing. And I said, you know what, I'll just give it a shot. Because they had it on sale, it was a good deal, wasn't full price for it. And I said, hey, if I'm building the Tele, we might as well build a Strat if I find something for it. So that's kind of how it came about. Already, I tested the fit on the neck. Nice so far. I haven't bolted anything together, so that still remains to be seen. We'll test it out, though, and we'll see. But this one's considerably lighter than the Tele. You can see it on the back there a little bit. Look, not everybody likes the Relic, and that's okay. I mean, I enjoy the road-worn Tele that I have. But, look, it's not a big deal if you don't like it. If you do like it, great. If not, it's okay. But it's okay. I'm not passing it off like a vintage guitar, but I kind of like the feel of this one, though. It's a little bit more satin than the Tele. They call them soft nitro. So it's not a complete nitro finish, but I guess they maybe do a little something over the top, and it's nice. And I actually think it's probably going to look nice on camera, because when I do the filming, it's kind of nice to have more of a flat finish. So that should be kind of interesting. Anyway, that's just a quick look at these two bodies. I kind of like the idea, though. Both of them sunburst, little matching set of Fender-style guitars. We'll see how they turn out. Okay, so as of right now, the only guitar that I have bits of hardware for is the Tele. I'm kind of thinking that's the one I'm going to do first. So let me show you what I picked out for a bridge. And you've probably heard me mention it before, maybe in some of the inexpensive guitar profiles or reviews that we've done. But sometimes we talk about bridge hardware on a cheap guitar. And I've said, look, you can spend more money for a bridge than you spent on the guitar. And whenever I say that, this is kind of what I have in mind. And this is a Tele style bridge from Mastery. And of course, Mastery is well known for their offset hardware, kind of like their Jazzmaster, Jaguar. They put their hardware on Novo guitars and probably some others. But they're well known for their tremolo systems and their bridge that they make for offsets. But they have these similar saddles that they use on a Tele style bridge. So this is, an ashtray style bridge, which I like a lot. I like the ashtray bridges, and I'm looking forward to putting this on the guitar. I've always wanted to get one of these on a guitar and see how it turns out. I figured if I'm going to do it from scratch, let me try to go as all out as I possibly can. As you can tell, not every bit of this guitar is 100% all out, but you know, certain things I kind of wanted to go for a little bit. Now, the other thing I have, as far as hardware is concerned, already picked out were the tuners for the Tele. I haven't put them on a guitar before, so this will be the first time, but they look pretty solid, and I've heard some good things about them, so I'm curious to see how they turn out. So these are the hip shots, 6-in-line, locking with staggered posts. Now that kind of takes me to the things that I can use your recommendations for. I have some of the hardware picked out, like you saw, for the Telecaster. Nothing 100% settled on for the Strat. But as far as the Tele goes, the other things that are up in the air are pickups and electronics. So I have some pickup options that I'm already using on other guitars that I could harvest and put into this build. So I like the mini humbucker that I have in the Road Worn when I did the Brent Mason mods. And I also like the American Vintage Reissue 62 Custom Bridge pickup. And that's a nice pickup. So that's an option. Because I'm thinking, you know, do I do the humbucker or a mini humbucker in the neck? Or do I just go standard Telecaster? So I'm kind of going back and forth on that. I started with the intention of doing a humbucker or mini humbucker in the neck. And I like that. But the other thing that's on the table too is just going straight with a matched set of pickups from somebody like Fralin, Lawlers, Curtis Novak, any of these other guys. If you have recommendations on them, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd appreciate your suggestions on finishing out the electronics on that Telecaster. The other thing that I'm going to do, of course, I need a pick guard and a control plate. Those are kind of the other two things. Once I settle on pickups, then I'll know more for a pick guard. I could get a straight wiring harness that's already done, or I can do one from scratch. So that's also something to think about. But definitely, if you have recommendations on the pickups, let me know what you think. Those are the kind of things that are up in the air right now on that Telecaster. The Strat, more so, because again, I didn't intend, you know, right from the beginning to build the Strat. So again, if you have recommendations on the pickups, this will be, I don't currently own a Strat, so I don't have anything that I can harvest from right now. But the other thing too I'm going back and forth on is the bridge and tremolo setup. You know, do I go straight Fender, or even something from like Stratosphere, maybe like a custom shop Fender bridge, I don't know, that's up in the air. Or there's plenty of people that make aftermarket bridge assemblies for a Strat style guitar. So if you have any experience with those, let me know. And you know, I appreciate your suggestions in the comment section down below. But I think that's basically everything as far as a quick look at the parts that I have and kind of what we're looking forward to doing here on the channel. So I'm looking forward to documenting these and filming the builds a little bit. But in the meantime, I'll look for your comments. Thanks a lot for watching. Always appreciate your support. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button. It helps out the channel. Subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will see you in the next one.